Good evening. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the third video conference. Lesson plan. In our last video conference, we talked about the theory, right, related to this topic, what a lesson plan is, some features or characteristics associated to a lesson plan. We were talking about Calla, that is the approach that we are going to use in order to work the last activity, that is a group work and we need to perform it in class. So today we're going to talk about a lesson plan, and I'm going to give you an example of that approach, okay? As we can see in the last video conference, Calla instruction is learner-centered. What does that mean? That the main purpose of this approach is to focus on the students as the main actors in the process. Something interesting about that is that the students are responsible for the whole process, beginning to the end. At the very beginning, since we need to activate those previous knowledge they needed to learn something new in the room, until the end in which we consolidate that knowledge, and in most of the cases we assess or evaluate what they have learned. Calla instruction is also reflective, right? Because believe it or not, the students are working on the whole process by themselves, trying to reflect about what they have learned and how they have learned it. That is the metacognition that we usually talk about when we talk about the reflection itself. Calla instruction is supportive because even the students are the center of the whole process. The teacher is there to support and provide help when needed. It's important because that is part of being in the process itself without being an active actor in it. Something else is that supporting helps the students to feel confident about. Because when you support them all the time, you tell them how to do certain things in terms of guidance, right? You provide that help along the whole process, and that is really interesting. Calla instruction is focused because they usually work on something specific. Remember that when we talk about Calla, we are talking about an approach that was created with a different purpose, right? When we got that instruction and put it into practice in our countries, we changed, okay, the nature of that, but trying to keep the most important points, that it's to focus on something specific. What does that mean? For example, when Calla was invented, the main purpose of that was to use the language, in this case English, as a means of communication in order to teach other courses. That was the main purpose, right? To use English as a means of communication without considering the English itself. The idea was to use it in order to work the other films, but at the same time work on the English process. That's why we say that Calla instruction is focused, because we usually, the tendency is to work on something specific and try to get that in the classroom. Calla instruction is enthusiastic because it's important when students participate all the time. So it's important for us to remember that when we talk about Calla instruction, there are certain characteristics associated to it. Don't forget that it's learner-centered, it's reflective, it's supportive, it's focused, and it's enthusiastic. Hi, Luis, how are you? Welcome to the video conference. Over the years, the roles in terms of teaching and learning have changed. Calla instruction focus on two responsibilities in the process. In the first case, we are talking about the teacher's responsibility, and that is something we discussed the other class. The teacher's responsibility is to prepare and present the material, while the student's responsibility is to practice, self-evaluate, and expand. Even we're talking about roles that are separated in terms of steps in the process, it's important to know that those responsibilities are interrelated. One depends on the other, right? You need to prepare in order to present, but the students need to practice in order to consolidate what you have already taught. It's also important the self-evaluation. And something that we are going to discover is that when we talk about self-evaluation, we can talk about different kinds of ways to do it. But besides that, it's important the expansion, to go beyond the classroom, to go farther and try to put it into practice what you have learned before. Usually, when we talk about the expansion, we're talking about homework that can consolidate the process. So in brief, we can say that teacher responsibility is related to the preparation and presentation, while the student's responsibility is related to the practice, the self-evaluate, and spend. Hi, welcome to the conference. I'm going to give you a few minutes to analyze the activity we are going to use in order to work with Calla, okay? That is in the next slide. All right, that is the activity we are going to use in order to work a lesson plan using Calla. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes so you can read it, what it is, okay? What information you have there and what you are going to do as a student, right? Or at least what the students are going to do in there. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to just take a look at it. Hello, Rolando, how are you? Take a look at the activity itself. Please check it, right? Because based on that activity, we are going to work on the lesson plan. Thank you. Hi, Yulisa. How are you? Welcome to the conference. Yulisa, what we are doing is just read the information we have in the slide. There is an activity, and based on that activity, we are going to work on the lesson plan. The lesson plan that it's related to the Calla model or approach. So I need you to take a few seconds to take a look at the activity itself. So based on that activity, we can work, okay, on the lesson plan. Got it, Julissa? Let's take a look at the slide and let's take a look at the activity we're going to work on. Uh, Here we have a unit, all right? It's the beginning of a unit. The name of a unit is I can't ice skate very well. The activity is a snapshot, okay? And the main purpose of that is listen and practice. However, as you can see, there is a specific topic. That topic, and the topic is related to sports seasons in the US and Canada. As you can see it, there are a lot of new words for students, all of them related to the topic itself, like play golf, play soccer, play football, go bike riding, go hiking, play baseball, play tennis, play volleyball, go swimming, play hockey, play basketball, go ice skating, and go skiing. Here we're talking about vocabulary or lexis. Hi, Juan Antonio, how are you? Juan, is to check the activity we're going to work on the lesson plan, okay? As I mentioned before, there is a general idea, that is the name of the unit. I can ice skate very well. The activity itself is a snapshot, so it's an introduction to the topic itself, usually related, yes, Rolando, usually related to new lexis, and that new lexis is related to sports seasons. Sports seasons in the US, Canada. As I mentioned before, we have new lexis for the students to learn. All of them are related to sports. And interesting about that is that those sports can be classified in different ways. However, the books provide that in terms of seasons, in the spring, in the summer, in the fall, in the winter. And at the end, as you can see it, we have two questions that the students are going to answer depending on the situation and depending on what they are doing in the classroom. Yes, Juan, it's new interchange. Yeah. The book is New Interchange. That was an awesome book, right? So let's start. I think that one was the second edition. General information related to the activity itself. Yeah, when we Juan, when we talk about an objective, we talk about form and function. Okay, right? In this case, the function, all right, and the grammar there is the form. Of course, depending on the book, they call it in a different way. And Calla managed the same information, but they changed the names a little bit because that is part of its style. So the general information related to the activity that we have already analyzed a minute ago says that there is a title. Yeah, that is part of the process, right? When you create something, you change things to look different. The title says, I can't ice skate very well. The topic, sports. The function, yeah, to sound smart. I suppose that you want to say smart, right? Okay, yes, Juan. The function is talking about sports seasons in the US and Canada. And the grammar is the simple present WH question in context. As you can see it, we have function and grammar. And as you can see it, the function related to the form nowadays, but a long time ago, they call it grammar. Romario, hi, welcome to the video conference. Yes, Calla. Cognitive academic learning language approach. All right, so as you can see it, we have a general information related to this activity itself. Then we have a class description. Why is it important? Because depending on that, we know or we associated the information to the student needs and interests. It's important because based on that, you are going to work the activity. The class description for this specific activity, it's the following. This is a basic course designed for a group of 25 students. Classes take place at 8:50. Most of the students are teenagers and young adults. There are 20 school students who are in their 14s and 15s, and 4 university students who are in their early 20s. The classes are held in room 703, where there is a TV set, a chalkboard, and some pictures on the walls. The students have classes 3 days a week, and each class lasts 2 hours, and there is no break. That is a class description. So the day that you have to perform the activity in group, because it's a group work activity, you have to describe the class you have at the university, right? So in other words, try to get information from your friends in order to see it, all right? The settings, it's important for us to focus on that because depending on the age, depending on their interests, depending on their needs, is that we are going to create the activity and try to develop that. The timetable fit. All students come from last session. They learned adverbs of frequency and some vocabulary related to food. So this is the beginning of the last week of class. Apparently, there is no connection between what they have learned with the new information. However, it is important to know that the grammar, okay, the grammar instructions can incorporate that new lexis we have in this case when we talk about sports. So it seems that it's in isolation, but it's not, right? So you can get something from the previous class in order to connect that new uh, topic or that new idea. So in this case, for example, if you see it in that way, you can say, wow, but food is not related to the topic we're going to work today. Probably it's not, all right? If you can see it as separate topics. But if you analyze the whole, for example, the address of frequency, no? Or maybe you can talk to them about what to eat in order to be healthy, all right, or in good physical conditions in order to practice one of those sports. That is also an interesting way to see it. The idea is that even it seems that the topics are not interrelated and they are separated from each other, you have to try to connect that previous knowledge they had, what they have learned before, with the new information. The learning objective: to learn vocabulary for popular sports in the US and Canada, to talk about sports they watch and play using simple present WH questions, and to say simple present WH questions in context. Those are the learning objective. And here we have Calla lesson plan in format. The lesson topic, sports. The lesson goals, we usually divide it into the linguistic content. Here, for example, we can analyze that information in the following date, using the simple present to talk about sports. The teacher will present the topic of the lesson using some flashcards describing a sport. Students will practice the simple present when asking and answering the questions provided by the book in group of 3. Students will write a small paragraph about their favorite sports. And the students will interview 2 members of their family and write a paragraph about their favorite. As you can see it, if we compare what we have nowadays in technology, because nowadays we talk about deleting, set up the activity, close it, post activity, all of those steps are reflected in the link, right? I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened, but now, yeah, I'm back. That's important one. Thank you. I'm not sure is it the platform? It's internet. I am completely sure that it's not the communication tasks. Here, we divided the activities into two skills, speaking and writing as the main ones, right? Probably we work on the other two, but the two principal ones are related to speaking and writing. Speaking, students ask one another about the sports they like, played, or watch. Students play tic-tac-toe in pairs about sports. Writing. Students write a brief. No, no, one. This is not this Sundays. It's on January 17th. Yes, I think in 2 weeks. Don't worry. Students write a brief paragraph about their favorite sport and then report it to the class. Students solve a crossword puzzle alone, and they also take a brief quiz about sports. And as homework, students write a paragraph talking about their family's favorite sports. The learning strategies. Advanced organization. That takes place when you bring pictures of different sports. Selective attention, when you teach vocabulary related to sports using the different pictures provided by the teacher. Cooperation, when students work in pairs to check their paragraph, for example. And grouping, when they classify pictures according to their attributes, sport seasons, summer, winter, fall, spring. So it's important for us to see it that we are working on learning strategies, specific learning strategies, depending how you create it, how you imagine the class, no, the activity itself. Probably, if you consider that there are other learning strategies that are more important because the activity is completely different, right? Because remember that in this snapshot, we have new lexis, new vocabulary. It's the beginning of the activity, uh, and that is going to help us to work on listening, speaking, reading, writing, no? Things like this. So the learning strategy you decided to use depends on the activity you are working on. Then it's important for us to know the materials you are going to use. It could be book, it could be visuals, flashcards, magnets, extra pieces of paper for writing tasks, pencils, pens, crossword puzzles, quizzes. All right? And here we have the Calla lesson planet format. Remember that. Hi, Marilut, welcome. Remember that when we talk about Calla, we are talking about preparation, presentation, and the first two depend on us as teachers, right? Let's start talking about the first one, the preparation. When we talk about the preparation, we're talking about the beginning of the activity itself. Here it says, give students a split picture of a sport and ask them to stand up and look for the other half of the picture. So it's cut in two pieces. What they have to do is try to find the student that have the other part in order to complete it. Okay. Uh, as soon as they find their partners, they sit down. Then ask students questions about the picture to set the scene. For example, what do you think we're going to talk about? So using the pictures they have already completed and they have in their hands, we can start introducing the topic itself. What sports do you have in the pictures? So students take a look at the pictures they have it in their hands to talk about it. What do you think where do you think football is popular? And then, and that is probably the most important things, you ask a question to create the cognitive conflict. That cognitive conflict it's related to the activation of the previous knowledge, right? Here, when you ask that question, there is no correct answer. You are is it right or wrong? In this case, for example, the cognitive conflict is created using this question. How do you think we can classify those sports? And at this point of the activity, you can accept any answer, okay? Someone is, give me just a second. And here it says, at this point, you accept any answer. All right. So the preparation that is part of our responsibility is related to the way we introduce topics, asking questions. Also, something important here is to create that cognitive conflict. And at this point, you accept any answer. Here, there are no correct answers. It could be whatever they say it. All right? Even if it's something crazy, you say, oh my God, come on. You are supposed to accept that. It's like when we work on brainstorming, right? When we work on that, we accept any answer, any idea. And then at the end, we classify, we delete, okay, and we work on the information we have. Well, more or less, that is the idea here. Then we have the presentation. The presentation depends on us as teacher too, okay? Write the objective of the lesson on the board. That is the first step when we talk about Calla. It's important to work on the objective because students need to know that there is something waiting for them. Usually, as we mentioned before, Calla is related to function and grammar. Nowadays, the objective refers to the function and the form, but if we check it, it's the same, right? The only difference is that Calla versions call it grammar, but it's the same idea. Hi Nelly, how are you? Write the objective of the lesson on the board. To learn vocabulary for popular sports in the US and Canada. What is our main role in the process to present information? Yes, Rolando. Explain to students that sports can be classified according to the season, summer, winter, spring, and fall. Give students some time to discuss with their partners to decide in which season they think those sports are played in the US and Canada. Here, about the pictures we use in order to work the beginning of the activity. Then ask the students to go to the board and to put the pictures under the correct season. Ask the students to open the books to compare their answers with the ones provided by the book. Here, we are going to start working on the book as part of the process, but something interesting about that is that the students have already worked on that without seeing the book. Well, in this case, play the audio program or ask for volunteers to read the snack shop. Point out there is a picture for each sport, right? As you remember the activity, in the activity we have different pictures. All of them identify the different sports. Explain that we will use explain that we use play with games and go with the sport, and there are we're talking about two different things, right? Ask the students to find examples in the snack shop. So something interesting here. Hi Nelly, how are you? Okay, good evening. All right. Uh, Explain that we use plates with games and go with the sports. That is part of the grammar instructions we are talking about. Okay. Then you play the audio program again or read the snack shop, and the students listen and repeat. Remember that we're talking about new lexis, so we're talking about new vocabulary. Then, in order to finish the presentation, you ask the students the same question you used to create the cognitive conflict. Do you remember at the very beginning, you asked, how do you think we can classify those sports? Well, you're going to ask the same question. No? Ask students the same question used to create the cognitive conflict. If they can answer it, that means that they learned. So we related, all right? We related that cognitive conflict with the wrap up, with the consolidation, with the ending of the activity. Because remember that the first two steps are related to you and the responsibility you have in the process. Then we move into the practice. We ask a volunteer to read the first question and give students a minute to check the sports by themselves. After that, have students compare answers in groups and discuss the second question too. Walk around the class to provide help as needed. Next, elicit answers from the class. Something interesting about that is that Calla is supportive and focused. So you as teacher needs to provide that support along the whole process without interfering too much. Let's move on into the next slide. Then we have the evaluation and the expansion. The evaluation is divided into 3 steps. All right, the self-evaluation, the co-evaluation, and the evaluation given by the whole class. In the first one, in the self-evaluation, for example, we created a crossword puzzle. Give each student a crossword puzzle to complete according in the snapshot. Because don't forget that this is a way to evaluate what they have already learned. Tell the students that they have 5 minutes to complete it. Walk around the class to provide help. When the time is over, have students evaluate their own work. Remind the students that they have to be honest with themselves, right? Because the metacognition is related to that. You cannot move into the next step if you don't realize your strengths and weaknesses. Have them comparing pairs in case they have a missing answer or a wrong one. Ask for volunteers to check the answers. Remember that the self-evaluation is related to evaluating yourself. Be sincere with what we have learned, all right? If not, the idea is to reflect about it, think about it, and reformulate it and try to learn it in another way. The co-evaluation. For example, here we create a tic-tac-toe. First, words that teacher wants the students to review and write them on the board. Have the students work in pairs and draw a chart with 9 squares. Write one word in each square. Divided the couple into 2 teams, the X and the O's, and explain the game. Yes, Roland, here, why you can. Yes, Roland, here, I'm talking. I think someone has using his or her microphone. That's why we have an interference right there. Oops. Yes, Rolando, I'm here. Then explain the game. Student S choose a word. Replace the word with an X. If not, the other students tries. The student played it and walk around to provide some help. The first student to get a straight line of 3 X or O's wins. Finally, have students evaluate their partner's participation in the game. All right. And then we have the written quiz. We take a quiz to assess a student directly represented in the snapshot. Give students the quiz and encourage them to write complete answers. As soon as students finish, collect the quizzes, correct, and give them back the following date because the feedback is important. And finally, in class, let the students write their own paragraph about their favorite sport. And as homework, have the students interview 2 members of their family and then write a paragraph talking about their favorite sports. So as you can see it, Calla is a detailed lesson one. They tell someone else in detail. All right. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to reflect about these 3 questions. Okay, let me check it. Hi, Gisela. How are you? Gisela Osters. The PowerPoint is already available in the platform, so you can check it there. I'm going to give you 4 minutes to think about your possible answers, okay? We are going to start. Hello, Gisela, how are you? We are going to start first with question 1, then we're going to move into the second one, and finally we're going to work on the third one. As soon as we finish the conference, I'm going to give you your grade. If you check it, your grades are available in the platform, even the first 2 video conference, right? This is going to be the third one, and there is going to be one more. I don't remember. I think it's in the 20-something. Let me check it in a minute. And let's see it. If you have your microphones, you can use, please raise your hands. I'm going to give you the to tell us about that. If not, you can write down your answers on the chat, but please your answers, okay, send it and wait a few minutes in order to send the second one, because if not, it's hard for me to read it and try to evaluate it, okay? All right, so I'm going to give you 5 minutes to think about possible answers, and then we're going to discuss about, because I need to check who is online, okay? There are 9 people here. A ver, just let. There we have Gisela. Gisela is there. Juan. Yulisa. Karen. You cannot hear me? Maybe you have to activate it. Okay, Nelly, restart, please. No problem. I'm going to check it. Yeah, Nelly. I have Karen, Marilu. Oh, sorry. Marilu, Nelly. Hi. Rolando is there. And Romario. Romario. So there are 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few minutes to think about possible answers, okay? To check if the material you have, or in order to have the class discussion. So we're going to start in 5 minutes. And Luis, where is Luis? Luis. Luis is not there, no? Yeah. And Romario. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, let me check. This one is not there. Well, as soon as I finish my second video conference, I'm going to upload it, but I'm sure it's there. At the end, it's not. Okay, don't worry, I will upload it. I'm not sure if I can do it now. I will try it. Huh? As you think about it, I will try to upload it, okay? Mm-hmm. No, we have problems with that. Yeah, it's too heavy. I'm going to divide that into two parts, okay? I tried, but I couldn't make it. Okay, Nelly, can you hear me now? Is it much better? Oh, great. Thank you. All right. So let's start with the first question, okay? Remember, if you cannot use your microphones, it doesn't matter. You can write down your answer so I can read it from the chat. So let's start. Is everybody ready? All right. So let's start with the first question. Number one. Yes, Marilu, the PowerPoint is not at the platform, but as soon as I finish my second video conference, I'm going to divide it into part A and part B because it's too heavy. All right, I tried, but I couldn't make it. So let's start talking about the first question. What are Calla's 5 faces and describe them briefly? Okay, at least choose one of them. Okay, one of them to talk about. All right, who wants to start? What are Calla's 5 faces? And describe at least one of them briefly, using your own ideas, using your own experience. Okay, who wants to start? Hi, Rodrigo. How are you? Welcome. Rodrigo, now we are working on the questions, okay? We are working on the first question. So, hi, how are you? Juan answered, faces, no? Okay, what I needed, can you write down your answers? Okay. The first one, mention the 5 faces and choose one to describe yourself using your own words. I'm waiting for the answers. All right, Gisela says, okay, they are preparation, identifying objective, presentation, present new information in very ways, the practice that provide different cooperative learning and structures, good, the self-evaluation, students reflect on their own learning, and the expansions, students apply information to their own life. Okay. What about you? Thank you, Gisela. What about the second? I mean, someone else. Okay, Gisela? Perfect. Any other answer? I'm waiting for. Juan Antonio says expansion. They also apply the new language in different contexts. Okay. And Juan, if you have to relate that to something we usually do nowadays, what would you say? That expansion is related to which steps in the process in which we're working now? Yes, the expansion. Nowadays is related to, I don't know, lead in, set up the activity, run it, close it, or post activity. What do you think? If we have to look for similarities, huh? And why? The production. Why? Why the production? A student get a chance to use the language they have just learned. Okay, got it. That's a good reason. Someone else? Rolando, Yulisa, Romario, Marilu, Karen, Nelly, Rodrigo. Can you write down your answers? Rolando says, emphasizes to put emphasis on the natural link between strategies, language, and content learning. Okay. Rolando, you're talking about Calla. Yes? In the second question, oh yeah, wait a minute. No, Rodrigo, we're on the first question, but I'm going to read in the second question. Preparation will be important for the students. Yeah, Rodrigo, the first question. Okay. No, it's okay, Rodrigo. Don't worry. What you have to do is to choose uh, one of them to talk about. Okay. So yeah, in steps 1 and 3, yeah, you connected the two answers, Juan. The idea was to work them separately, but okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, all right. So let's talk to Yulisa. Yulisa, are you there? Okay, Romario. Hi, Romario. Romario said preparation, presentation, practice, evaluation, and expansion. And expansion. In this phase, a student takes part in the activities that help them integrate personal meaning with the knowledge they are okay. Evaluation and self are related to the monitoring of the students. Okay, great, interesting point of view. There? Okay, Karen sent it an answer. A ver, let me read it. Calla, it's a method that uses lesson planning and learning and strategies that help students with limited English proficiency. It tries to build the academic fluency. The 5 steps are preparation, presentation, practice, self-evaluation, and expansion. Uh, Practice. We can provide to the students opportunities to practice the strategies. Okay, to work on a strategy. For example, ask them to work in pairs or small groups to do an activity. It's important to discuss the value of the strategies because it helps them a lot. Marilu says, preparation. When you prepare students for a lesson, you do so by activating their background knowledge of the concept you will present. All right, got it. What about Romario? Romario, are you there? Romario and Yulisa. A ver, sorry. Romario, Yulisa, and Nelly. Romario, yes, you are there. Romario, can you write down the answer for the first question? Yeah. Okay, Yulisa, you are trying. Okay, I will wait for you. Romario says, preparation, presentation, practice, and evaluation. Expansion. In this phase, the students take part in activities that help them integrate personal meaning with the knowledge they are gaining and reflect on how some of their previous thoughts. What else? Roma. Luis is not there, right? Romario, did you finish the idea? Because I don't think so. And reflect on how some of the previous thoughts what. In order to work on the second question, I need Julisa's and Nelly's answers. As I wait for your answers, okay, give me a second. Okay, great. Let's see. Let me check it. Romario. Yes. I know I'm trying. Okay, Romario, thank you. Now I have the whole idea. Okay, Nelly, are you there? I need your answers in order to move to the next question. Okay. Nelly, can you please write down your answers? Okay. Thank you, Nelly. Yeah, it's okay. I will be waiting for. Please don't worry, don't worry. I will be waiting for. How about you, Lisa? Yulisa, can you write down your answers, please? Because we need to move into the second question. Okay, Yulisa, thank you. Presentation. Yulisa says, in this phase, teacher focuses on describing and explaining the characteristics and concepts. Just give me a second. Okay, Nelly, give me a second. Okay, Yulisa, oh my God. Okay, Yulisa says presentation. In this phase, teacher focuses on describing and explaining the characteristics and concepts of the new topic. Practice, students practice. Okay, thank you, Yuli. Nelly says, presentation. What is the best way to present this content so that the students understand the concepts? What language skills they will use? The best way to present this content is through a video in which, okay, in which it is explained the different vocabulary, for example, food with the pronunciation, so they can watch at the same time. Listen how the words is pronounced, so they can associate the image with the sound. Okay. And Julissa says evaluation. In this phase, students evaluate their success. Okay, thank you. Entonces, Nelly. So Luis is not there, all right? Now, let's move it into the second one. Which phases are teachers' responsibility? We know that the practice and the presentation. Let's talk about one of them. Why it's our responsibility to work on that part. Okay. I will be waiting for your opinion. So at this point, everybody can participate. Which phases are teachers' responsibility and why? All right, I'm waiting for your answers. We're on the second question. Which phases are teacher responsibility and why? Hi, Luis. We were waiting for you. Luis, can you please answer the first question because you are the only one that couldn't be evaluated. What are Calla's 5 phases and describe one of them? Only one of them, Luis. Yes? Oh, Luis, sorry. Yeah, but it's okay. Everything is perfect. We are just on time. Choose one of the Calla's 5 phases and describe it briefly. I was waiting for your answer as we wait for your friend's second answer. Okay, Rolando says, in question 2, you want our opinions or some sort of fact related to the answer? Your opinion will be great, Rolando, please. Mhm. It could be one of them. Okay, Romario said, I think one of them. One thought is the first two, Romario. Presentation or practice. Well, that's a way to consolidate it. The idea floated across is to go from depending on control-guided teacher assistance to a very independent stage. All right, during the whole process, okay? Okay, so we have Romario and we have ideas. Great. What about the others? Hi, Luis. Well, I guess I would choose the first one, preparation. You have to active a student's background knowledge of the topics you present. Okay, great, thank you. Rolando says, yeah, it's expansion. Okay, it's your point of view. Why expansion? Oh my God, wait a minute. I cannot read them. Okay, Gisela says, for me, preparation and presentation are the two important facts. The others, the teacher, I cannot read the rest. Give me a sec. Gisela. Yeah, but I cannot do it. Okay, give me a. Okay, we are. Gisela, no? Okay, this is for me, preparation and presentation. The other three are students' responsibility. For example, the teacher have identified objective, elicit students' knowledge, develop vocabulary, and provide motivation to the students in the classroom. Okay. The teacher has to model and explain learning strategies. The teacher has to discuss connections to students' prior knowledge, and also in the presentation phase, the teacher choose appropriate strategies. Present the language task and discuss with the strategies will be most appropriate for the task during each of the metacognitive process. Thank you. Karen says, Karen says preparation because uh, give me a second because, yeah, Karen. Yes, Karen says the students might not be well prepared to do the next activity. Also, it's very important to choose which strategy will be appropriated from it. Rolando says, okay, Rolando, because in this manner, your immersion instruction will include not only content language learning, but also its strategies. And the students can have a more specific understanding. So yeah, expansion. Nelly. Nelly says preparation and presentation. Yes, presenting information clearly and effectively is a key skill to give a message that you want to explain to the students. The source you apply on your presentation to get the students' attention is important. All right. Any other answer? Okay. Luis, maybe you can answer the second question with your opinion. No, there are two phases in which we are involved as teachers. For you, which one is the important one and why? So I'm waiting for Luis, Yulisa, Marilu, and Sandra. Okay. Sandra's answers. Hi, Sandra. How are you? Can you answer, please, the first and the second question? If you don't have a microphone, you can send it your. Okay, Nelly. You can send it using the chat, please. Okay, Nelly says explanation and presentation, presenting information students. The resource you apply on your presentation to get a student's attention is important. Marilu, yes, you have to answer the second question. Yeah, you did? I'm sorry, I didn't read it. Okay. Sorry, Mari. Oh, yes, you did it. Sorry. All right. So what about you, Lisa? Juan, number 3. Okay, the expansion stages consolidate the students' knowledge because the students use the new language related to their own experience and in different contexts. Thank you, Juan. I got it, your third answer. Luis and Yulisa. Sandra and Catherine. Hi, Catherine. Catherine, can you write down the answers for the first 2 questions? They are the crucial steps in order to get understood by the students, because you present the topic and do different techniques to get your aim. All right, very good. Thank you, Catherine. Hi, Luz, how are you? Please, can you write down the answers for the first and second question and send it, because we are in the second one. A ver, Gisela, Juan, Yulisa. Don't worry, Luz. It's okay. Luz, can you please send for the first and second question? Because we need to move into the last question to finish the video conference. Rolando. Yes, it does, because it's kind of like a conclusion and the unfolding of all that was learned, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Yes, Rolando, thank you. Okay, that is the third one, right, Rolando? Got it. Thank you, Rolando. I have already have your grade. I have Rolando's and Juan's last answer. What about the others? All right, I'm waiting for your answers. Rodrigo, thank you. Rodrigo says functional state do of the students. If a student is a student who determines the knowledge is consolidated by the strategy he or she applies in this stage. Thank you, Rodrigo. So I have already have your grade. Thank you so much. Another answer? Okay. Julissa. Oh, Julissa said, I believe that the preparation, presentation, and practice because they will be most important parts in the process of the class in order to develop students' since we have to take into account their previous knowledge for a better understanding and meaningful learning. And through the practice, they will be able to apply in their daily life or different situations. Thank you, Yulisa. All right, what about the last question? Yes, Juan, you can go to bed and rest. Bye. See you on Sunday. I'm going to wait for your friend's answer in order to close the video conference, okay? Okay, Catherine says the third answer. I think that is that the Spanish stage consolidated students because it's a process in a stage that converts. No, Juan, you're supposed to answer only the first three questions. The ones that are not connected, the ones that are not online, they are supposed to answer the sixth ones. So it's done for you. Mhm. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your. Okay, Catherine. Catherine. Oh, here we have another. Good night, Juan. And Nelly, okay. All right, Nelly. Nelly says, don't say goodbye to Juan, please, because then I cannot read topic of the lesson with their own experiences. Even we can connect the lesson with other subjects. For example, if we're talking about countries and nationalities, we can relate the topic with history because we kind of start talking about habits of people in different places. Also with geography, to talk about locations. And finally, students can decorate classroom with flags or things related to the countries they learn. Cool. That was cool. Thank you, Nelly. Okay, Nelly. You can go to bed and rest. Thank you so much for being there. I have already your grade. Thank you. What about the others? You're welcome, Nelly. Please send in your answers because the video conference is going to be closed in 20 minutes. Okay. All right. Luis Alberto. Luis Alberto says, yes, it does, due to the fact that students can use the new knowledge in different situations. Here is when you see if the students really get the aim. Yes. Luis, thank you so much. Thank you, Liz. It's done for you. Go to bed and rest. See you on Sunday. Rolando. A ver, Rolando. Okay, Rolando. Rolando, so the ones you already told that you have their grades, they are excused. They are not excused. It means that I have the grades so you can go to bed and rest. And the same happened to you, Rolando. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your participation in the video conference. All right? See you in class. Okay, Sandra, don't worry about the internet. Let me check it because there is an answer here. The message now. Here there is an answer, but I'm not sure who. Sandra. Sandra. These are 5 Calla phases: preparation, identified objects, motivate and develop vocabulary. Presentation, it presents, yes, provided. Yeah, that's true. Rodrigo, yes, you can go to bed, Rodrigo. Thank you so much. Yes, Gisela. Go to bed and rest, Gisela. Thank you. Yes, I can see your grade says, I think the Spanish stage consolidated student knowledge because in this stage or phase, the students apply what they have learned to new situations. Apply information to online, make connection between language and context, and finally relate them. Bye, take care, see you. Catherine, your second answer. All right. Preparation, I know, sorry, this is not, this is, a ver. Yeah. Karen, no, primero, first, because if not. A ver, Karen, yeah. Because if the teacher doesn't present a good class at the beginning, the students might not be well prepared to do the next activities. Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm confused. Yeah. Don't worry, don't worry. But there was one answer before. Okay, Karen, you can go to bed and rest. Yeah, I know that it's. Marilu, yes, Marilu. Yes, I did. A ver, ¿dónde está? Karen, no. Karen, yes, Karen. It's okay. Yes, Karen, everything is okay. You can go to bed and rest, Karen. Thank you. Luz, are you there? I don't have any answer. Can you send it, please? Because the platform is going to be closed in 10 minutes. You're welcome, Karen. Yes, Karen, the video conference is going to be closed in 10 minutes. Luz, can you send your... Okay, Catherine, I got it. The first answer. Great. What about the last one, Catherine? A ver. Yes, Catherine, you did it. You can go to bed and rest. Thank you. Romario. Not at all, because we know that the expansion state integrates meaning, knowledge, and they are gaining, and it depends on the students. All right. Thank you, Romario. You can go to bed and rest. So I'm waiting for Sandra and Luz answers. Yes, the first, the second, the third, all of them Luz. Bye, Marilu. See you in class. Thank you, Luz. In expansion student, bye, Romario. Bye, Marilu. Give me a second, because Luz sent it the answer. Expansion. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Okay, Luz sent it the answer. Hi, Luis. Luis, can you answer the 3 questions quickly, because the video conference is going to be closed in 5 minutes. If you send it the answers, I can check them, but try to do it now. Okay, Sandra. Yes, Marilu, I'm going to send the PowerPoint maybe today, late at night, after you there? Julissa. Julissa. Okay, thank you, Julissa. I have all your grades. You can go to bed and rest. Thank you so much. I'm waiting for Luis answers. Luis Andivar. Good night, Julissa. Luis, I need the answer. Send it because we have only 4 minutes. If not, you are going to give me the 6 questions on Sunday. I mean, the answers. Okay, Luis, don't worry. I will be waiting for them. It's okay. Since you are connected to the platform, just answer the first 3 questions, okay? I'm going to give you that chance. No, the other 3, just the first 3 questions, because you're connected and you have problems with that. Okay, Luis? You're welcome. See you on Sunday. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yes, only 3. Yes, Luis, only 3. Bye, Luis. Take care.